the Cleveland Cavaliers did, in fact, make a move. I don't know if it was the move that Dawson was wanting, though, as they made a trade. Let me see if I can find the right slide for James Harden. James Harden, the former league MVP, former just great player, that, according to some people, never was able to get over the hump and win the championship as a player, and then all of a sudden ended up on like 20 teams in 2 months. Yeah, but James Harden gets traded over to Cleveland from LA, and we'll look over here. They send Darius Garland over to LA. Yay. I don't know if Dawson really wanted Darius Garland out of all players to be traded from Cleveland, but Garland goes to the Clippers. Harden goes to the Cavaliers. As a Cavaliers fan, Dawson, how are you feeling about this situation? I know you hinted at a certain player that you'd like gone, but he is still on your team. And you got to add former MVP James Harden.
Last Saturday, the Cavs got rid of DeAndre Hunter and brought in Schroder and Ellis. And I'm like, okay, I really like that move. I'm like, Hunter wasn't really a great fit this year. There were some attitude issues. I'm like, good. Cavs are making an effort. Like, I'm like, that's probably the only move that is going to happen. And then me, Brock, and Braden are recording the Between the Hashes Super Bowl preview on Monday night. And as we're wrapping up, my phone is blowing up about a potential James Harden to Cleveland. I'm like, oh, hold on. I gotta make sure that this is just absolute utter nonsense. Because you can't trust half the stuff that you find on Twitter or any social media platform for that matter. And about 24 hours later, it was more than official. I'll be quite honest, not the biggest fan of James Harden. Never have. But hey, it makes the Cavs better now. Like I said with Vucevic, thing with Harden, he plays. He plays in a lot of games. Now, does he have a tendency?
If he's happy, he plays.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's quit on his fourth different team now in the last 6 years.
And we've seen the fat suit.
Yeah, he quit on Houston, he quit on the Nets, he quit on the Sixers, and he just quit on the Clippers. So that is a later issue. But as much as it pains me to now have Harden on the team, it makes sense when you look at it from an outside view. Garland and Mitchell were never a great fit. Some of the numbers aren't fantastic. It's under 6'3" guards that can't really defend, that need the ball in order to be successful. And the thing with Harden provides a little bit more playmaking. And Harden, I guess, is a bigger guard. I think he's 6'5", 6'6", so he at least can play some sort of defense. And he plays in most of his games that he wants to, I should say.
When he's feeling it.
Yeah. But bottom line, the Cavs just traded a 26-year-old two-time All-Star for a 36-year-old that's making almost $50 million next year.
Oh, no.
So, and I am a degenerate, all right? I love being like out there on like certain bets I place. This is all chips in the middle of the table for the Cavs. They have this year, they have next year. That's it with this move. So hey, Cleveland, the clock starts now. If you don't win the title this year or next year, you can kiss Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, all that goodbye. Yeah, it's not going to matter.
You're gonna have to hope that players like Evan Mobley start performing for the Cavs, and maybe they can compete, get to the finals here. But it's gonna be rough, and it doesn't help that the Detroit Pistons right now are playing as well as they are, and some people may not understand what that means, but like JB Bickerstaff being where he's at right now and not in Cleveland, I know Dawson, it boils your blood,
grinds my gears.
It grinds your gears. Like I and everybody knows
ruffles my feathers, dude.
Like, and everybody at some point experiences that as a sports fan, seeing like a coach that didn't do well where one of your teams were, and then they go somewhere else and all of a sudden they're like performing really well. So everyone sympathizes with you because they know what it's like to experience that. But like again, I still think the Cavs have the tools. I mean, they also did get rid of another guard in Lonzo Ball, and it sounds like he got traded to Utah, but he's also in the process, it sounds like, of getting bought out. So any team can sign with him but Cleveland. And
Good.
that was a good move for sure, because I just feel like they felt like they had to play him, but playing him was like the worst option that they could have had.
Yeah, I will say when they made that trade for Schroder and Keon Ellis, when giving up DeAndre Hunter, Lonzo was always going to be the odd man out.
Yeah.
Because Schroder, like Lonzo is like good at playmaking, he's okay at defense, but that shooting, I think he's 460th in shooting percentage this year, or 300.
Yeah.
He's like almost dead last in field goal percentage. And at least with Schroder's going to chuck the ball up a bunch when he's off the bench, so that could be interesting. And I will say, being a Cavs fan the last 4 years, I've gotten bored of the core four of Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, because it's like, they're never really going to move one of these guys in my eyes. I'm like, this is just the team we have. And the Cavs have had 3 straight playoff failures. They just have. Getting smoked by the Knicks in the first year of this core four. Beating the Magic barely, and then getting annihilated by Boston. And then should have beating Indiana last year, honestly, if it weren't for a couple game 1 or game 2 mistakes. And they fell on their face. So it would have been hard for the Cavs to trot out the core four again this season just to have them fall on their face again. So I appreciate the effort. I now have to trust.
I don't know if he was the right guy to make the move, like out of the four
That's
to
the
get
thing.
rid of. Because like I guess Dawson, I think you've kind of hinted at that maybe Mobley was the guy to look at. I've never been a fan of Jared Allen personally. I've never been a fan, I guess, in Jared Allen in that roster. Maybe I'm lost, but Jared Allen doesn't really do anything for me. But you watch more Cavs games than I did.
I will say, and then I'll let Hunter, because I know I've kind of just yapped the last 10 minutes. I will say the addition of Harden will instantly make both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen significantly better, because James Harden is one of the best lob passers in the NBA.
I can get on board with that.
And Harden, I mean, he had Zubac, but Zubac is not the quickest center in the league. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley run the court. Like, they're not like the strongest guys, but they will go up and down the court and catch lobs. So it at least makes the Cavs interesting in that manner. So I'm excited to look forward to it.
Yeah, I think these trades like really show the evidence that like the NBA is moving faster than ever before, and not like necessarily on the court. That's true too, but even just like with how teams are, because it's just a year ago, Cleveland Cavaliers were just running things. It felt like in the East, and that's gone. Like they're going to make the playoffs. They're pretty. I feel pretty handedly at this point, especially with this trade. I think James Harden hits the upgrade, like I said, hit the upgrade button this year. I still don't think they won the trade just because it's James Harden of all people. In fact, I think the biggest winner of this trade is Brian Damaris, or whoever the Mavs commentator is the biggest winner of this trade.
Are you talking about the
100% right about everything he said?
The funniest winner is the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have control of the Clippers draft pick this year.
No, we're not thinking about that right now.
No, that's the funniest part.
Stop.
We're not gonna do that. But yeah, so I think like things are just moving very quickly. The Lonzo Ball trade just felt very obvious, and just kind of shows like something's not right, and the Cavs front office wants to do something to show that they know something's not right, and that something needs to happen. And so this also happening is like, oh, okay, this will do something. I think, like Dawson said, like it's gonna help, like especially with those big guys down low, being able to get them their easy buckets now. Not that Donovan Mitchell obviously did his thing even with Rudy Gobert, but he just feels so relied upon in general. So even hopefully having Harden in that aspect will help a little bit, if he's able to turn back the clock every once in a while. For the Clippers, since we didn't talk too much about them, like death taxes and Hunter liking what the Clippers do and then immediately regretting his choice words. We're back. All right. I'm not a hater of what the Clippers are doing like at this deadline. I'm not going to say they fully salvaged everything by any means, and trading Chris Paul was also like kind of weird, but like made sense obviously because he just wasn't. You could have convinced anybody he just wasn't on the team in general anymore, and then they traded him. And so that was I think it's very interesting what they've done.
They didn't want to be the team to pay him out, honestly, because it sounds like he's going to get bought out here.
Mm-hmm. And so I am interested to see what they do moving forward, and it honestly makes me wonder, like, what is going to happen with Kawhi Leonard then? Because they got a lot younger, their timetable changed, they have more picks. And now they just have this aging dude on their roster that has just always had question marks on like what's next. It's felt like in his time there, at least for the past few years.
I think over the last couple of years, the Clippers have been making these moves and being like, why hasn't this moved the needle? Why aren't we taking that next step? Part of me is starting to wonder if they have finally realized what the common denominator in all of these moves are, and it is we are
Nicholas
still.
Batum. Oh
yeah,
don't be hating on my boy Nicholas Batum. Sorry, Nicholas Batum. But Kawhi Leonard, they all of these moves and their opinions were in hopes that Kawhi Leonard will be able to lead a team to a championship, and time after time that has disappointed them. I feel like this move right here is the sign that things are about to change in LA. It is going to get rough for Clippers fans. This offseason may be one of the worst off seasons for them in recent memory, just because, I mean, heck, when they kind of blew up Lob City, I don't think they were like terrible the first year or two without them, because then they end up getting Kawhi like a year or two later.
They were like surprisingly doing better when like Tobias Harris was the guy.
Yeah.
Like it was weird.
So like they have not done which is funny, a full-on Clippers rebuild since Blake Griffin has been drafted there. It's going to happen. The button is going to get pushed. I think Kawhi Leonard might get moved this offseason.
So the interesting part about the Clippers side of this. So obviously they get significantly younger with adding Garland instead of Harden. And I keep seeing stuff out there that the Clippers are just kind of move on from everything because they're gearing up for the 2027 offseason. Because apparently that's when literally everyone and their mother is a free agent. It's just all worked up where this is when everyone's contract expires.
Damn, my mom's a free agent that year. I need to figure out if I need to like re-sign her or sign her a no trade clause or something.
Yeah. So on the books for next year, so they have Kawhi's contract at $50 million. They have Garland at $42 million. But then it's like Derek Jones Jr. at $10 million. They have Isaiah Jackson at $7 million. Like this team has like money that they could spend for next season. And that's assuming they don't move off Kawhi Leonard, which I think they will at this point. I think they're just kind of, like you said,
it's not this year, it's next year.
They're just kind of done with this era. Like, especially with, we haven't even talked about this in months, the whole scandal with Steve Ballmer allegedly paying Kawhi Leonard under the table. Like, that eventually will come to fruition for the Clippers, and there will be a punishment for that.
There are some dark days in Clipper land that's coming, both on and off the court. It sounds like this is all, again, we don't know the whole results of everything with the investigation or anything yet, but like there potentially could be some, dare I say, putting grocery bags on top of your head going to games type fans in the next couple of years. And don't even get me started. I don't know if you guys saw what the whole the Lakers fan or some fan that sat on the wall section and they gave him a card saying that he is not allowed to show up again in opponent's gear or he will be like removed. I don't basically blackballed from ever entering the arena ever again. That is like I think the Clippers might honestly be my least favorite franchise in how they are being ran and how they are trying to promote their product to the world, because they are trying to make their thing so like inclusive to Clippers fans only. And I hate to break it to you, Clippers, but there are Clippers fans. There are not many of them. And there's a big reason why. And it's for the team that you left to go build a different arena for, or by yourself for, because you didn't want to share an arena with the team that has 17 banners. So you had to put up selfies to block them out while you played basketball. Great move for them to get Darius Garland. Again, I do think like this could be a move in the long run that really benefits the Clippers when you look back on it.